Once a symbol of potential for Nigeria's rising baseball and softball athletes, the MKO Abiola National Stadium baseball and softball pitch now stands as a shadow of its former self. A space meant to inspire dreams has been left to decay, its state a testament to the challenges faced by these sports in our nation. But today marks the beginning of a hopeful conversation. The president of the Nigeria Baseball and Softball Association, Mr. Uche Odozor, and the immediate past secretary of the NBSA Transition Committee, Dr. Armstrong Ogwuche, visit the pitch to address its challenges and chart a way forward for baseball and softball in Nigeria. In this video, we hear from these passionate sports administrators as they share their vision for restoring this facility and reviving the sport, fostering a new generation of talent and opportunity for Nigeria's youth.
All hope is not lost. There is a saying that there is hope in baseball and softball. Dr. Armstrong Ogwuche, you have done a wonderful job. Today we talked about a renewed baseball and softball. But incidentally, you're putting on suit in a place where you were with your best, talking about putting on the best for baseball and softball. Where did you get it wrong? What do you think is in the future now that we have a brand new belt?
Well, I think the first thing I would love to note is my counterparts who represented Nigeria during the Koja All Africa Games played here. And history was made on this very ground because for the first time, our softball national team defeated the South African national team right here, in the final match. So this is a very historic place, and no team has performed that feat in Africa ever. We had the softball national team, we were the first team, at least up until that time, to beat the South African national team, a very good side. And just across this pitch on the other side was where I capped for Nigeria for the last time in 2003 at the All Africa Games. And I'm here today with the current president of the Nigeria Baseball and Softball Association, Mr. Uche Odozor, who is himself a pro, I say semi-pro player. And back to back, we played in South Africa, basically at different times on the same team. And a man I believe that is able to take the sports to the next level. So this is a very sentimental ground for all baseball enthusiasts and softball enthusiasts in the country, and as well as in Africa as a whole. This is supposed to be the center of the twin sports in Africa. And I want to say that very clearly. This is supposed to be the center of the sport in the entire continent. But you can see the state the facility is in. This can mark pass for one of the best sporting facility in the world. We've been around, we've traveled wild, and if only these can be maintained, these facilities can be maintained and used. I think it will bring Nigeria, not just Nigeria, but FCT to the map when it comes to reckoning with baseball and softball in the continent of Africa and beyond.
Yeah, you talked about the coming administration. How soon can we start seeing the green, white, green at the international podium for award from the base and softball?
Good thing is the bulk of people that formed the current executive of the NBSA are actually former players. They've metamorphosed from being players to coaches and now to administrators. So we have a good mix of executives and administrators who not just know or studied sports, but they've been players, like I said. So they bring a lot of difference, to the way the structure, because there are two things that really determine the development and expansion of, and also sport. I'm talking about Olympic sports organizations like baseball and softball. The difference here is that with their experience and exposure, they know what to do. So driving development program from grassroots will not be a problem because they won't theorize development, but they are going to put hands on deck and make sure already they do have a program that I'm privy to have seen, and it's a tested program, and I believe that it's going to hit the ground running in no time.
In giving a helping hand to the new president of soft and baseball, you lived in South Africa, and we are told that private sectors are the one driving sport in that part of the country. What tips or ideas could you make available for the new president of Nigeria softball?
Well, I think the president is versatile. He's a versatile person. He's got background in several industries, which I believe he's bringing on the table. With that experience, I have no doubt whatsoever, because luckily I've been able to engage him on this discourse severally. One of the things I know is on the table right now is infrastructure. Whenever you're setting up a family, you need a home. And the first thing I know is a priority for the president and indeed the current executive is having a home. And we want to make Abuja home of baseball, not just for Nigeria, but for Africa. And like I said, we already do have the facility, but it's got to be reclaimed from the wild. Right now, it's like we're standing in a forest, as you can see. So reclamation is the first thing. And after that, we move swiftly into reconstruction, and then we'll get the games rolling soon after that. Then its infrastructure is, changing, setting administrative structure. We don't want to rattle the boat like he told me. He's not rattling the boat. But the first thing he wants to do is to make sure we got infrastructure in place, not just here, but every other place like schools, playgrounds, and all that. As we can have access to those places, we'll develop them. And its infrastructure is administration, because administering the various playing units and the states is also very important. So while we're building the center, we also want to decentralize administration to the zones and to the regions and also to states and to the clubs. So I think there is going to be a new leaf thrown in here. And
what is your intention? How do you hope to generate this fund? Publicity, international community. What will you make as a difference?
It is always too much expectations to think that government is going to do everything. So everybody funds the sport and they want to trust it with the ministry. The resources are very scarce, and but the thing is that let the people who play this, let them own it. Baseball and softball is a family sport, and the family, you have the little league, you have the youths, you have the baseball men, you have the baseball, softball, and all of that. But you find out that by the time you have captured this family unit, you already have your funding within. But the mistake we make is always looking outside to think that, look, somebody is going to fund this from outside. But of course, when you want to play on international stages, when you want to do major programs, of course, sponsorship is also what you'll be looking at. There are many companies that are interested in identifying with baseball. Baseball is not new, not even in Nigeria. Baseball globally is a very big sporting event that gives companies images that you would want to see, just like football. But like I said, every businessman that gives you a part of his stipend would want to also something to get in support. But we will start from the family unit at schools, play, have fun, the funding will come. We are not really truly worried about that. But the immediate fix is just to find partners to sort out the baseball, the softball park or pitch that you can see that is in a very bad, terrible shape, and then we'll take it from there.
As the baseball side of the MKO Abiola National Stadium finds a new purpose under the Cricket Federation, the question lingers: what will it take to restore this space to its original glory and purpose? While cricket thrives here, the dreams of baseball and softball players remain in the shadows, waiting for the opportunity to rise again. With the passion and dedication of sports administrators like Mr. Uche Odozor and Dr. Armstrong Ogwuche, and the new mix of enthusiastic members of the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Baseball and Softball Association, the path to revitalizing baseball and softball in Nigeria becomes clearer. It is a challenge that calls for unity, investment, and unwavering commitment from all stakeholders. Together, we can revive the dreams. Together, we can restore the game. Join the movement to revive baseball and softball in Nigeria. Visit https://practiceproactive.org.NBSA Transition Election Committee.